Welcome to the Create Clarity with Charity podcast, where hybrid business coach and consultant Charity Brown shares her bold and daring business tips that will transform your business into the best that it can be. Here's your host, Charity Brown.
Hello and welcome to the Create Clarity with Charity podcast. I have an amazing and beautiful guest here today, the Bunny Barbie. Hello.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here.
I am so excited too. You are doing some really amazing things, and it's just super exciting to see a self-producer here and have all these new innovative businesses starting. Let's talk about some of the things that you've been working on, because that's really why we're here, because we really want to check out your businesses, your new YouTube channel, your Instagram, your TikTok, because you've been doing some really amazing things in the market space.
Yeah, so, about a year and a half ago, I decided to start my TikTok, which now I'm almost at 1.6 million followers. And I am just excited to really put out a different message and be empowering and, launching, self-producing my own reality show called Legally Bunny, and just really starting a clothing line and being really positive, female centered, and putting out a, someone that you really feel good when they pop up on your feed.
Yes, and you definitely do that. The Legally Bunny show is so amazing. And I really get that, empowering women's movement, really a straight shooter, keeping it real. And, I think that's why you're so unique, because you really bring the true authentic nature of your life with you.
Yeah, I think, it's really hard for influencers to be really in this whole of you have to be perfect and everything has to be amazing. And it's just not like that. You have to be authentically yourself, or, it's not going to work long term. There's lots of influencers that try to be very family and brand friendly, and then, they're not themselves. And it kind of ends up like blowing up at some point, and so I just think that me being myself, but I also don't think I would have grown a platform if I wasn't myself. I think people love me and also love to hate me, and then I think I have more on the love side. So
yeah, you're definitely radiating that magnetized love energy. Instead of the haterade, there's lots of that out there.
I mean, it's actually never ending, but yeah.
And there's a bunch of bougie, kind of like trashy people that are getting hella numbers, but really it's kind of like, why would you want to watch fake and like unemotionally fulfilling things? But a lot of people are just tuned into some of those negative vibes. But I really like what you're doing, because actually you give back a ton. It's not just about you and your amazing lifestyle, right? And it's really about your intention of your messaging. And with all the nonprofits, and you homeschool your kids, you got the baby circle going on, you got the Moms Against Domestic Violence. I mean, you're just also out there changing lives, right?
Yeah. So like when COVID started, when my son was born, I decided that I wanted to homeschool him. It was a very random decision of mine. I just couldn't imagine putting him in a preschool like the day that he was born and getting him on all these lists, and it just didn't feel right to me. So I started researching like homeschooling, and when he was about 18 months, I bought every single children's curriculum that there was, and I found one that I really loved. And I ended up reaching out to the woman who created it. She was a teacher for 7 years, and she made this curriculum for her kids and homeschooled them. And it was before when I originally had my first reality show, which we'll get into, but I knew that I was going to have this show, and I reached out to her and I was like, listen, I want to donate these. Like, I want to buy the curriculum for you, print them out, put them in packets with like crayons and markers and papers and everything that they need to do the curriculum with, and give it to shelters of, domestic violence victims, or, women's shelters that have babies. And so I wanted to give that away. So I started talking to the woman who created it, and then she was like in a life shift in her life. And she's like, I've had this for years. I'm just not really into it anymore. Why don't you buy the entire thing for me? And I was like, you know what? Like I will. So then I had bought it in December. I was kind of revamping it and making it my own. And then COVID hit. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm just going to hurry up and get some out. And I gave it away to everyone for free because I knew, like, I know what it's like to not know what to do with your kid at home, you know? And all of these moms were all of a sudden with their kids at home and they didn't know what to do with themselves. So I gave it to everyone away for free. I'm like, I've done the time and the research and the energy into it. Like here it is. I gave it away for everyone. And then I also recently was talking about it more. And I do have a YouTube video that I have been giving it another one away for free on my YouTube channel now. And so I kind of did that. And then that kind of rolled into, I have a friend who owns a diaper bank nonprofit. So she's actually the hub of Florida for any disaster relief. Like if there's a hurricane or anything, they give diapers, hygiene products for women. It's very mother based, and I'm on the board of that charity. And so we have events twice a year and raise a lot of money and donate a lot and collect, you know, just things that we luckily don't have to think about that a lot of other families do. And 1 in 3 moms in our community cannot afford to either diaper or feed their children. So it's something that we're really thankful that we have the means to help other moms.
Yeah, and that's why you're so amazing, because it's not just that you're a bombshell, right? You're just amazing and gorgeous at the same time, but you really are, you know, a heart-centered evolutionary entrepreneur, the one that's giving back, right? The one that sees more than just the dollar signs.
And I think too, you know, I do post like recently I've been posting some kind of comedy skit satire stuff. So I think people are like, we hate her so much. She so only cares about herself. And I'm like, oh my God, like just because I don't come on TikTok every day and tell you like all of this nonprofit and charity stuff that I do does not mean that I'm like the worst person in the whole world.
Yeah. Seriously, but they should know, so they feel dumb when, you know, when they find out actually she's really giving and
Every once
a
in a
mom.
while, I think I posted like 2 videos ever, like to like mean comments. I'm like, well, actually, these are the things that I do. So
yeah, we shouldn't have to prove ourselves though, but with what you're doing, a lot of people are going to question you because you are coming with the emotional attraction. You're bringing people into your life and it's triggering them, whether they love it and they wish they were you, or they are getting advice or mentorship or coaching, or they just want to be like you. So it is important for them to understand who you are at a core level. And with your story, I mean, it's just so amazing. It's not like you're just giving back and doing some charitable work, but you really are also producing your own shows. You have started your own business, very successful text business for entrepreneurs and business owners to be able to actually essentially work from their cell phone, right? So it's like you're doing so much more for the entrepreneurial community and just everyone as a whole, that, you know, you're providing all these awesome, you know, platforms to help either make life easier or give back or just let people in. And, you know, that's not normal for the societal norm. You know, we usually separate the personal and the business, and you have eliminated that divide.
Yeah, I don't feel that there should be any, you know, personal business separate. Like it's all meshed together with me. My son comes to meetings with me. I have meetings at, you know, play dates. I don't know. I do it all kind of together and I feel like it meshes really well. I don't want to ever feel like, oh my God, I just worked for like 12 hours. And like, it just, you know, my favorite thing about being at the place where I am now is that I never have to set an alarm clock. Like that is my favorite thing. Like I can wake up and have the freedom to do what I want with my day because I just blend my work into my day, like every day.
Yeah, and that's complete freedom. Now that is entrepreneurial bliss. Okay. That's like, when does that happen? When you work hard enough, right? When you find the right niche, when you finally nail it, that's the kind of freedom that you get with your.
And not everything works. Like I've had so many failed businesses. So it's not like I'm just like, oh my God, like everything is such a success. Like, no, like if you want to be a business owner, you have to be okay with failure. You cannot just, you know, if you're not okay with failure and criticism and people not liking what you're doing, being a business owner is probably not the best thing for you to do. You know,
Right.
like I always get asked that, like, how do you start your business? Like, you know, and I also think too, because I get asked this a lot, is like, for like startup funds, like do some, if you really want to be a business owner, do something that doesn't cost much. Like none of my businesses ever had like a startup cost, none. So like you really just have to put like your mind and energy into it. And you know, my first business was I owned a yacht chartering bottle service company. And so it was just like service based, right? So we would
Yeah.
have kind of like promo girls that would be like work at like tequila or liquor brands and stuff. And we would have them on boats doing bottle service for the day. And so, you know, that was my first business that was really successful. And it didn't cost any money to start up, you know, it's just like starting it and doing I mean, there's minimal cost, like a website and stuff like that. But, you know, other
Yeah.
than that,
But it
like,
was human capital. They wanted
yeah,
the
you
pretty
don't need
girls and
20 grand to start a business. You
yeah.
just need to have the drive and effort to do so.
Yeah, and that's innovation right there. And you are so innovative. So it's really awesome to be chatting with you because that's what I want to know is, you know, after, you know, creating your brand, the Bunny Barbie brand, you're essentially self-branding yourself. And that's a whole brand new concept in itself right now as well. And so doing that and kind of breaking free from like the corporate shackles of, you know, bigger production companies like MGM and the Viacom. I know they were trying to get you to have your own reality TV show there. And that kind of is what triggered and inspired you to start the Bunny Barbie YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, I just don't feel like the way that TV is going, like I just don't think that cable and being tied down, like they literally film and then it comes out like 10 months later. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Like I want to be able to do something faster and more empowering and have control over it. And I just didn't want to be controlled by these large companies that do this over and over with the same amount of people. And I just think that, you know, we can just put out a more positive message being in control of the whole filming and
And
who's
editing.
part of it. Yeah. And editing all of it. It's really like a storytelling, you know, there's a lot of creative that goes behind it because you film so much stuff and you've got to decide like what's in there. I actually saw because the Kardashians has like ended their whole season or whatever, their show forever. And they said that they literally film everything and then they have to decide like which way the story goes and like which things to put in there. So, you know, it's an interesting process and we'll see how the reaction is, you know.
Yeah, it should be pretty cool because it's raw and real. And I love that you do that on your TikTok and you know, there are no boundaries or barriers. You're just, you know, do what you feel, do what you love and then sharing it. So that's super awesome. And more with the empowerment. I mean, that's really what I see coming from most of your stuff is, you know, the influencer empowerment, enlightening. And so your newest brand, the Bunny Barbie, women empowering brand, clothing brand that you're starting?
Yes. So we just kind of finalized the deal yesterday, which I'm super excited about. We're just starting a clothing brand. You know, I got a lot of feedback because I do post a lot of body positivity and more so like I'm being bullied and like, just like, leave me alone. Like, just leave, like my body is not a topic for you to like pick apart and discuss. And I think changing that narrative into making clothes for women of all sizes to feel good in. And it's not like there's like a plus size and a super skinny size that are different things that look better on different body types. Like I want to do the same dress in all sizes so that everyone can feel like they're wearing the same clothes, feel good in and love wearing it. So that's kind of the vision for the brand. And I'm super excited. We should have a small launch right before the holidays, and then we're going to have a huge launch around February.
Oh, that's so exciting. Did you hear that, everyone? We'll be looking forward to that. Is it the bunnybarbieboutique.com?
I'm sure I'm going to have it on the bunnybarbie.com redirect to it. So it will be on the bunnybarbie.com.
Okay, cool. Yay. Well, that's exciting. And, you know, people just want to feel a certain way when they put clothing on,
Yeah.
so it's an emotional experience, you
Yeah,
want to
and
feel
all the
sexy.
time, like I basically have been using my Instagram as more of like a focus group of like what people want from clothing.
Nice.
So, if anyone's interested in following along and kind of voting on which they like better and things like that, like I really want this to feel like you guys are a part of the process and you're making a clothing line through me. So I think that, it's fun to do it that way.
Yeah, that makes it more successful as well, because then you have the inside from your key niche audience.
I'm not just guessing what they want. Like I already know what they want.
Right. Yeah, because they told you. Survey said. Cool. Well, that is so exciting. I'm really looking forward to seeing your show launch and for the clothing line. That's super cool.
I'm super excited too.
Yeah, and for everyone else out there, the new entrepreneurs, the newer influencers, the solopreneurs, the ones that really need that encouragement, what would you tell them today that you wish you knew when you first started?
I think that you just really have to have a personality that does not care what other people think about you, and just really go for it. Like keep doing things. You have to keep trying things. Like nothing's just gonna fall in your lap and all of a sudden you're Jeff Bezos and you own Amazon. Like it's a lot of dedication and hard work to building brands, and you have to be passionate about it. If it's something that you don't enjoy doing, it's probably not going to be the best business for you. You have to be passionate about it and find things that you really love, and things that love you back. Like you have to feel good about it. Like especially like TikTok has been so emotionally rewarding and fulfilling, other than being a mommy. Like it's like I feel like a mom to so many young girls. Like I can't even walk down the street without little girls being like, I love you so much, like you've changed my entire life. Like it is wild. Like I just I don't even feel like I have that many followers, but like every single city that I walk to, and I walk for 5 seconds and someone's like, oh my God, I love you so much, like you've changed my life. I'm like, oh my God, like this is so, it's really emotional, like sometimes like I wake up in the morning and I read my DMs and I'm like crying. I'm like, oh my God.
Aww, that is so amazing. That's the reward, not necessarily the monetary reward of the money, but that you're literally changing lives. Yeah, and that's a huge feat and not easy to do, because there's a lot of fakes out there, and I think that you're so successful because you really keep it real and you're giving them what they need. And being that serial entrepreneur, having several businesses and been through the mountain high and the valley low, and have had failures but got right back up and then started something new and didn't let it stop you. That really takes a super strong mindset. So for the audience out there, what is it that keeps you so motivated and driven and just able to continue to, shine your light on everyone?
I just really enjoy doing it. I really enjoy everything that I do. I think building a brand that my son can grow into and do something with himself when he's older is definitely super motivating for me. Being a role model for him and other young women or boys is super motivating for me. I think just trying to and be authentically myself. Like I just think that being yourself is just not, we're so used to, even influencers used to be very poised and everything's so perfect. And like, I just don't want to be like that. I want to be myself, and you can love it or hate it, but I hope you love it.
And it shows they're loving you and loving what you're doing. So that's super awesome. We'll be looking forward to all your new launches. And is there anything that the audience could do here? Any of the people that you want them to subscribe so we can get that episode?
Yes, subscribe to YouTube, The Bunny Barbie, so we can hit 100,000 and launch the show. And follow me on Instagram so that you can be a part of the clothing line. And, anything that you want out there, you're always free to DM me. I check my DMs every day, and I'm very in tune with my audience, and I feel super connected with you guys.
Yay. Thank you, the Bunny Barbie, for being here today. It really was great having you, and we will be following.
Thank you so much for having me.
You are so welcome.